Adam here from the Walzer Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is compare a couple of mid-size SUVs. Now next to me here we have the all-new Subaru Outback, and I want to compare that against the new Nissan Pathfinder. So what we'll do is we'll look at the interior, some of the stuff on the outside, and see which SUV might just be right for you. Let's start by looking at the exterior on this Nissan Pathfinder. Now this one I have here today is the Platinum model, so that's going to be about as loaded up as they come. This is going to have a 3.5 liter V6, and that's going to be paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission. So out on the open road, that 9-speed is going to make this a very smooth ride and drive. Now beyond that, if you're thinking about towing, the Nissan Pathfinder might be a better option for that. This has a maximum towing capacity of 6,000 pounds in this trim or configuration, so that's going to be enough to tow your boat up to the lake, or maybe you've got the utility trailer. There's a ton of usability with the towing compared to the Subaru Outback. Now, a few other things on the Pathfinder. The Platinum, obviously, like I said, is going to be fully loaded, so you get some of those chrome accents on the front or maybe onto the side. And I love these 20-inch wheels. They have a really good look with kind of the black overlay and the chrome. It just looks really good with this white paint. Now with this Pathfinder that I have here today, this one is going to have the third row and the second row buckets. So inside we'll take a little bit more of an in-depth look at that, but that's something that the Subaru Outback that we have here wouldn't be offering today. Now as far as fuel economy is concerned, this one's only going to receive about 20 city and 25 highway, which is definitely lacking. When we jump over to the Outback, you'll see why. But again, usability, maybe if you're getting into mountain biking or if you're kayaking, this one does have the roof rack, and it has a ton of storage space in the back because you can fold down those rear seats. So the styling cues for the Pathfinder, it recently has gone through a facelift over the past few years, and it's a lot better looking vehicle in my opinion. It's got a ton of equipment, but let's jump over to that Subaru Outback and we'll look at the exterior before we jump into this one. All right, now looking at the Subaru Outback, this is the 2024 model. So this is the newest one, but from 2023, there wasn't a huge amount of changes that have gone through this one. But you'll notice in the front, the fog lights are a little bit different for the 23-24 model, as well as a few different styling cues, whether that's the fender moldings, the headlights, taillights. There's a lot of good design language of Subaru right now, and it's a very sharp looking vehicle. So this will have a flat 4 symmetrical engine. That's going to be a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. That's going to get you 26 miles per gallon in the city and 32 miles per gallon on the highway. That's a significant jump over that Nissan Pathfinder. So if you're doing a lot of highway driving, the Subaru Outback is definitely a better option there. Now the styling with the Outback, this is just the premium, so this is kind of where it starts. Whether that might be the Onyx or the Wilderness, there's a ton of different ways you can configure the Outback, but I wanted to grab the premium so you can kind of see where it all starts. Now as far as the exterior is concerned, this one will also have the roof racks. It's a pretty cool design in that it kind of flips over, so if you don't need them, it wouldn't make any wind noise or doesn't take any fuel economy away from you. But again, the outdoors kind of screams to the Subaru Outback. There's a lot of space to throw bikes or kayaks or anything on top, and then on the interior, you do still have a ton of cargo space. Now the interiors are really where you're going to want to be, so let's hop over to the Pathfinder and we'll check that one out first. Okay, so now we're inside the Nissan Pathfinder, and what a comfortable place to be. I say it over and over, but the Nissan seats are some of the best in the business. They're always super comfortable. I love this peanut butter brown. There's kind of like a bronze stitching and a two-tone black. It looks so good in here. And I mean, it's really, I know it's the top of the line, but when you add the heated seats, you've got air conditioned or cooled seats in here as well, plus a heated steering wheel. It's some of those features that are almost impossible for me to give up. Now, a few other really cool things inside the Pathfinder. With this display here, you are going to have wireless Apple CarPlay as well as wireless Android Auto. You are also going to have a wireless charging pad down here. So your phone, when you get in the car, throw it in, you're ready to go. There also is USB plugs down there, so if you did need to charge anything or your passenger does, it's a pretty cool option there. Now, I like the Nissan Drive Select here. So you've got your reverse drive, obviously park, but it does free up a lot of space versus having a large shifter up here. So you get the big cup holders, and there's a lot of storage capability here. And also underneath, it's all open. So there's nothing under here. So again, it frees up a lot of space, whether that's your purse or anything else you need to store down there. Really cool option there. Now back to our infotainment for a second. This one does have built-in onboard navigation. It's also going to have voice control. So you can click this little button on here.
Please say or select a command.
And you can say different commands to it, whether that's tuning the radio, any of your Bluetooth stuff. There's a lot of really cool stuff you can do to stay focused on the road ahead. So the backup camera in here is awesome. This one's gonna have the 360 or the surround view monitor. Also, when you put it into reverse, right here on the dash, the parking aids will pop up. So there's also a sonar system. No more bumping into garbage cans or parking in a really busy grocery store. This is a great feature that's definitely gonna help you out when parking. Now, one of the coolest features is the fully digital display. So there's a lot of your safety features, all of your pertinent information. Everything is going to be controlled through the steering wheel controls, and it's straightforward and easy to use. Some cars you get in, it's super confusing. It's hard to figure out. This one, there's just a couple buttons. You can go through it all. It kind of spins the car around as you move, and you can see all of your information right there ahead of you. Now, this one also is going to have the ProPilot Assist. So what that's going to cover is a lot of your safety features as well. If you're on the highway, there's an adaptive cruise control system. There's a bunch of really cool stuff. I don't want to get too much in the weeds because you could spend hours talking about it, but just know when you and your family are in the vehicle, you are going to be very safe. So when comparing this to the Subaru, again, we brought the Premium here today, but obviously you can load up a Subaru to have almost all of the identical equipment that you can in this vehicle. Whether it's the Bose sound system, the wireless CarPlay, I mean, there's so much good stuff inside the Nissan. But again, with the rear cargo area, that's where this one might be a little bit better than that Outback. You've got the second row captain's chairs in this one compared to just the bench seat, which would be an option. They're gonna have heated seats in the back, there's AC controls for there's also USB plugs, and then those seats do fold down as well. There's a lot of ease of access to getting into that third row, where it is a little bit smaller of a third row. And again, the Subaru Ascent, which would be the largest one, would also offer the third row, but this kind of seems very similar size to the Outback. They're both easy to park, easy to get around, and they've got a lot of great equipment in them. So now that we took a quick look at the Pathfinder, let's hop over to the Subaru Outback and we'll check out that interior. Okay, so now we're in the Subaru Outback, and again, this is the premium trim, so it's really only up from here. But what I love about the premium trim is still how much equipment you get for what's considered just the base model. I mean, this one, again, the seats are extremely comfortable. Some people prefer the cloth seat versus that StarTex or maybe a leather seat. There is a Napa leather seat option, but these are gonna be heated. So for those Minnesota winters, they heat up really quickly, and in the summertime, like when it's hot today, they don't get hot so fast. Now, a few other things, this one is gonna have the large new Subaru infotainment screen, which I love because again, even just the lower trim levels compared to the higher trim levels, you're still gonna get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and there is USB plugs down here, so everything can stay charged up when you're on the go. Now, this infotainment screen, I think I prefer the Nissan one a little bit more. I mean, the big screen is nice because you get all of your information right here, but it is a little bit harder to navigate, I found, when comparing that to the Nissan model. But one thing I love about the Subaru Outback, I would have to say I prefer the ride and drive. After spending some time in this vehicle, being that it is going to get better fuel economy, I like the sportiness of just the way the CVT transmission handles that power. It seems to fit me a little bit better. Now, from there, inside the Subaru, you are gonna still have a lot of great equipment. This one is gonna have the dual climate control. You are gonna have quite a bit of storage, whether that's in the back or up front here. But again, you don't have quite the same amount as you did in the Pathfinder. I like that opening underneath, which is kind of nice if you're keeping things out of sight or just keeping them for when you're on the go. So this one does have the smaller dash display here, but it's nice because all of your safety information is going to be housed right through there. And again, just with your steering wheel controls, everything you need is right here. And this one also does have the voice control, which is super easy to use. Now, a few other things this one has is the HomeLink garage door opener. It's one of those things that's kind of a pain to pair it up or sync it up with your garage door if you have a gate at your house. But once you have it, this is an auto-dimming rear view mirror that also has the compass in here. And that's one thing that Subaru speaks to. It seems like people who enjoy the outdoors or the wilderness are always gravitating towards the Subaru, and I can see why. There is a sense of, especially when you're in the Wilderness Edition, that outdoor feeling, and that one's going to be up a little bit higher as well. But I mean, you could definitely take this vehicle to a campsite, load it up. You can still tow a little bit, but again, it might be better used for a bike rack if you do have the tow hitch on this. But I mean, overall, the Outback, it's comfortable inside. It can have all the same equipment that Nissan Pathfinder Platinum offers. And you know, you are going to have a pretty similar price point when comparing the two models. The one thing, the backup camera in here, it's not bad. Again, you can do the 360 or the surround view, which really makes it an awesome system. But for just the base backup camera, you can definitely get in and out of parking spots really easily, and it's gonna make sure you're not bumping into stuff. there is more of an off-road focused Pathfinder, which would be the Rock Creek edition, and obviously this one is going to have the wilderness one, but this is still cool because you can see your kind of departure angles, all your temperatures are going to be up here as well, and there's also the X mode, so when that kicks in, it's kind of a little bit of extra sure-footedness if you're on a trail, maybe heading to that campsite, or if you're doing off-roading or winter driving. This seems like it might be a little more planted and usable for some of that off-road or winter driving, whereas the Platinum just kind of feels like it might not have the same sturdiness or might sits up a little higher, so you don't quite get that sense of, man, I could really kind of whip this thing around in the snow like I feel like on the Subaru Outback. Okay, so overall, what do I think? Again, I think I prefer the ride and drive of the Subaru Outback. I like the size of this. It's easy to park, it's easy to get in and out of places, but I think I love the equipment in that Nissan Pathfinder. Again, I know this is just kind of the premium trim and that's the Platinum, but you can get pretty much the same equipment in both vehicles. But I like the layout of that, the ease of use, the digital display is super cool in there. But I mean, overall, it really kind of breaks down to what you're using the vehicle for. Again, that one would offer the third row, so if you've got more family and you want to bring more people along, that might be the better option for you. But if you want a little bit kind of easier to park, a little bit more outdoor focused, I think the Subaru Outback might be a better option that way, but you got to get out, drive them both, and see what you think. So that was just a brief look at a couple of excellent SUVs. Now, if you want more information to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by any one of our locations. We'd be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.